Grenz, a Woodbury High School senior, was buckled in the front seat when his cousin Kylie Graydon lost control of the car on a Carver County road near Belly Plain and crashed in September 2007. Graydon and her friend Kelly Phillips, both 17, were killed. Grenz was seriously hurt. 17-year-old Mitch Grenz thanks his seatbelt for saving his life. That's something nearly 100 others in his age group can't do. Teens and young adults use seatbelts the least often of any age group, according to the Department of Public Safety. In a tragically ironic twist of fate, Governor of New Jersey, John Corzine, was involved in a hit-and-run traffic accident and apparently was not wearing his seatbelt. The governor's total disregard for the law could have easily cost him his life and is considered lucky to be alive.
I spent 8 days in intensive care where a ventilator was breathing for me.
The truth is, all driving can be dangerous. More than 80% of all accidents occur at speeds less than 40 miles per hour. Fatalities involving non-belted occupants of cars have been recorded at as low as 12 miles per hour. That's about the speed you are driving in a parking lot. Safety belts can keep you from plunging through the windshield, being thrown out of the door and hurtled through the air, scraping along the road, or being crushed by your own car. Data suggests that education alone is not doing the job with young people, especially males ages 16 to 25, the age group least likely to buckle up. They simply do not believe they will be injured or killed, yet they are the nation's highest risk drivers. Neither education nor fear of injury or death is strong enough to motivate this tough-to-reach group.
It could be the difference between life and death. I actually have a friend that's paralyzed from the waist down because he was thrown from a car. He wasn't wearing his seatbelt.
My father got into an accident. He wasn't wearing his seatbelt. He managed to survive the accident. If he had been in a modern car with a seatbelt, possibly things would have been a little better.
It takes stronger seatbelt laws and high visibility enforcement campaigns to get them to buckle up.
Have a good day.
Seatbelt laws are divided into two categories: primary and secondary. Primary seatbelt laws allow law enforcement officers to ticket a driver for not wearing a seatbelt without any other traffic offense taking place. Secondary seatbelt law states that law enforcement officers may issue a ticket for not wearing a seatbelt only when there is another citable traffic infraction. "26 states, the District of Columbia, American Samoa, Guam, the Northern Mariana Islands, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands have primary seatbelt laws. 23 states have secondary laws. New Hampshire has enacted neither a primary nor a secondary seatbelt law for adults, although the state does have a primary child passenger safety law that covers children under 18. Specific laws vary greatly from state to state, depending on the age of the rider and in what seat he or she is sitting. In Georgia, for instance, one of the safety guidelines someone seeking to obtain a driver's license must know is the law guiding the use of safety belts in the state.
There's no law in Georgia that requires you to use the seatbelt in the truck, but for safety reasons and to keep the buzzer from going off all the time, I use my seatbelt every day.
The National Motorist Association encourages seatbelt use, but it does not support mandatory seatbelt laws.
You should not pass a law stating people have to use a seatbelt, adults have to use a seatbelt, because they are making a personal choice to not buckle up and to take the consequences of their actions. The exceptions to that are children. Children should always be buckled up and safe because they can't make an informed decision. They can't give informed consent about yes or no, I will put on the seatbelt or not.
It's a good law that was passed because, you know, people sometimes get careless. You know, children, for instance, are not, you know, responsible enough to, you know, put themselves in that position to use a seatbelt. So therefore the adult has to, you know, teach the child to use the seatbelt for safety purposes. And so therefore the adult should lead by example by using their own seatbelts and show the child that this is the right thing to do.
It will be recalled that Princess Diana of Wales and 2 others died Sunday, August 31st, 1997. While it is still not clear whether the victims were wearing seat belts, the computer simulation shows that without seat belts, both the head and chest of a person sitting in the rear seat where Diana sat will have hit the back of the front seat with great force. The acceleration that will have been experienced by the chest will have been about 70 times the force of gravity, or about 7 times what a fighter pilot experiences. The head will have experienced acceleration about 100 times the force of gravity. In reality, fastening your seatbelt may take some time and trouble, but not too much. It depends on how complex your belt is, how well you know how to use your belt, and how difficult it is to find the belt ends. That much time and trouble you can live with if you want to live. So, click it.
It took a remarkable team of doctors and a series of miracles to save my life, when all I needed was a seatbelt. I have to live with my mistake. You don't. Buckle up.